Abuja Capital Territory, and our population has risen from 35 members to over 1,500 members.
The 30th Annual National Conference of the Federation of Muslim Women Associations in Nigeria has a theme as religious and ethnic plurality, implications for national integration in Nigeria. The program pulled a lot of crowd from far and near. Muslim women from all over the Federation came out in droves to witness this grand event organized by members of Form 1.
The state capital, we started looking for accommodation. As chairman of accommodation committee, we thank God we were able to secure the University of Ilorin, better by far, as the venue of the conference. And we thank the VC, they came into our aid, they are supplying us, apart from the hostels, for our delegates. They are giving us our auditorium hall to host 1,500 delegates for the popular.
The Federation of Muslim Women Associations in Nigeria, Form 1, is an organization which mothers all women Islamic organizations in Nigeria. Prior to the formation of Form 1, there was no distinct forum where the voice and yearnings of Muslim women could be coordinated in a united voice. The idea of Form 1 was conceived by the wife of Sheikh Ahmad Lemu, recipient of King Faisal International Award, Hajia Aisha Lemu, in the year 1985. 3 other women helped raise the flag of Federation of Muslim Women Associations in Nigeria. The 3-day program was full of activities. Delegates of Form 1 who came in from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory were fully engaged throughout their stay in Ilorin. Highlights of the conference include courtesy visits, press conference, series of lectures, dinner, syndicate sessions, among many others. Thursday, the 27th of August 2015, was the first day of the conference. The conference kick-started with a courtesy visit to the Emir of Ilorin by the National Executive Council of Form 1, who were received by the representative of the Emir.
This is about the first time you hold this type of conference here in Ilorin. And such, he normally wants to be there, to be associated with this type of occasion. Unfortunately, it's not around. He sent his messages to you through us, and we in turn want to say the little we know about Form 1. Form 1 has been in existence for quite a long time. No doubt you are pillars in Islam, and at the same time, mother of the nation. We appreciate your role, or your roles, especially during the Chibok business. Phenomenon that we never expected, that it later occurred to us. Nobody expected it. But we do leave everything to God. But you fought tooth and nail. Why not? Because of you people who rise up, bring our girls, and so on and so forth. That later echoed throughout the world. We would have been a further mess. Because snatching children are probably like that. There's just no reason, no cause for it. And what these people are up to, only God knows. It's never in Islam, nor in any religion. God save us from these people. And you have been going around to the needies, to help the needies all over the country. It's only God that can reward you, and may God reward you abundantly.
From the Emir's palace, The crew moved to the NUJ Center located at Offa Road in Ilorin for a pre-conference press briefing. The Naibatul Amira of Form 1, Hajia Farida Saida Yusuf, addressed the journalists on the activities of the 30th National Conference with effect from Thursday.
Somebody lodged a complaint, and it is only right that we follow and see whether what he has lodged is correct or not. If it is correct, then the people found wanting should be handled to the appropriate authority. And if not, like I said, we should have the courage and the grace to apologize and clear their names.
Health, they say, is wealth. Form 1 took it of utmost importance to engage the participants on a health talk which focused on stroke. The entourage moved to the main auditorium of University of Ilorin for the lecture delivered by Dr. Kolawale Wasiu Wahab, a consultant neurologist from University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital. He spoke extensively on the causes, signs and prevention of stroke.
Sudden trouble walking or having dizziness or loss of balance, or when the person is not able to coordinate himself, it could be a sign of stroke. Or when someone presents with sudden headache and you can't identify any particular cause for this headache. So we have this acronym FAST for everybody to be able to easily identify someone who has suffered a stroke so that the person can present to the hospital fast. That is why the acronym is FAST. So you look at the face of the patient and see if the mouth of the person has drooped. If the person has deviation of the angle of the mouth to one side, if the mouth is deviated to one side, the person could have suffered from stroke. Or you examine the arms of the patient. Can the person lift both arms? You ask him to lift the arms up, and if he is doing this, he's not able to lift the other arm, you know that there is a problem. Or he lifts the two arms, then this one starts to drift down, then you know there is a problem. Or you assess the person's speech. Is the speech slurred? This risk factor for stroke worldwide. And it accounts for about 65 to 80% of all stroke cases in Nigeria. From our studies, we've discovered that up to about 80% of patients who suffer from stroke actually have hypertension.
To be with us always, from the beginning up to the end of this conference, to provide us with all what is needed to make good our country, our society, and our community.
In her address, the National Amira of Form 1, Hajia Amina Omoti, ably represented by her Naiba, Barrister Farida Saida Yusuf, highlighted some achievements of the association for the past 30 years.
The achievement of Form 1 these past years is encapsulated in the Muslim Woman magazine, built to be launched at this event. This edition of the magazine succinctly showcases our modest efforts across the states and the impact these efforts have made on both women and children, including the society at large. I will, however, highlight some of these achievements here. Form 1 as an association whose major focus is education, especially that of the girl child and women, has made giant stride in the education sector and has contributed to the educational growth of the country with over 100 nursery, primary, and secondary schools, 200 Islamia/Quranic centers, and adult literacy and vocational skill acquisition centers. The annual youth camp organized by the association is to ensure that the young ones who are the leaders of tomorrow are carried along. Through the annual Form 1 National Education Summit, which has become a major event, in the life of the association for the past 15 years. Timely education topics are articulated and a communique issued after each event on how best to have an effective education delivery in the country. Form 1 has contributed to the achievement in the health sector in Nigeria. Form 1 is a part of the success story in the reduction of polio in Nigeria, campaign against HIV/AIDS, maternal, child, and reproductive health care. Some of these efforts are made through the Form 1 clinics, hospitals, maternity homes, as well as advocacy visits to those directly affected and infected. The association has 2 VVF repair facilities in Kano and Kaduna. Being a humanitarian organization, Form 1 has orphanages and is involved in lending a hand of support to victims of the insurgency in the country, especially women and children.
The chairman of the occasion, Justice Mustafa Akambi, speaking through his representative, Dr. Mudathir Abdussalam, gave a concise opening address to the gathering.
The theme of this conference is appropriate and timely. Our corporate existence has been threatened by religious and ethno-cultural differences. Dunda's unpatriotic and selfish leaders have exploited these differences to fan the embers of hatred, disaffection, fear, suspicion, and disunity among Nigerians, while they looted our commonwealth and pauperized our people. To play an effective role in the process of national integration and development, Muslims need to be united. The need for Muslims to be united is an injunction by Allah. It is a necessity for the spiritual, moral, physical, and corporate existence of the entire Ummah. Quran 3:103 says, "And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided among yourselves." Thus, as Allah warned Muslims as brothers in the common cause, serving the one and only God, Allah, not to engage in quarrels among themselves so as not to weaken their corporate existence and solidarity. For true indeed is the saying that a house divided against itself is sure to fall. The point here is that it is our clear duty to encourage healthy rivalry, the sort of rivalry that assures our right to live as Muslims and to worship and serve Allah as He would want us to do. It is by divine design or destiny and not by accident that Allah has made Nigeria what it is. For has it not been said, if thy Lord has so willed, He would have made mankind one people, but they will not cease to dispute. Quran 3 verse 118. Our society therefore is a complex and complicated one, and no one group can and ought to be allowed to lord it over the other. For Muslims to play their roles effectively in the society, we need peace. Islam is a religion of peace. Unfortunately, it has been misrepresented by some people with ulterior motives and selfish interests. We must be united in condemning terrorism and violence by miscreants who hide under the canopy of Islam.
A keynote address titled "A Clarion Call to Nigerian Women" was delivered by Chairman Baikatni Limited, Dr. Abdurrauf Wale Babalakin's son. In his speech, which was more of a testimony, he commended Muslim women in Nigeria, especially members of Form 1, for actively dispatching their activities in the cause of Islam. He said He himself is a beneficiary of Form 1.
Let me start by commending the role of Muslim women, the role Muslim women have played thus far in the actualization of the objective of Form 1. I must state without fear of equivocation that the Muslim women in Nigeria have made very serious strides in furtherance of the objectives of Form 1. I am particularly well positioned to discuss this topic, as I can say very confidently that I have been a direct beneficiary of the considerable effort of women in the pursuit and actualization of the objectives of Form 1. I recollect with great nostalgia series of events that took place in my life that were greatly influenced by the dynamism of Muslim women who actively promoted the cause of Islam and were guided by the principles of and objectives of Form 1. I cannot begin to imagine what would have happened to a lot of young children were we not fortunate to have enjoyed the benefits of the activities of these great women. Challenges of growing up in a multi-religious society. I was privileged to have been born into a Muslim family. Both my parents were practicing Muslims, but more importantly, they were also activists in the cause of Islam. My father remains active even though he is quite advanced in age. He will be 90 years of age very soon, inshallah. Notwithstanding his age, he is still active in the propagation of Islam. He was president of Muslim Society of Southwest Nigeria, Muswen, till about a year ago. My mother, may the Almighty accept her soul in Al-Jannah Firdaus, was extremely active in various Muslim activities until she passed on 11 years ago. Growing up in Ibadan in the early 60s posed some challenge to our parents. They wanted us to be good Muslims and also to be very well educated. Most of the very good schools were owned and run by Christian societies or missionaries. Some of the schools actively encouraged children to change their faith, while some others relied on subtle influences to persuade the young Muslim children to change their faith. Without a strong mind, which could only come from a proper Muslim background, it was very easy to be swayed by the environment to abandon the Islamic faith. The strength of our parents, especially our mothers, kept us in check and prevented this unfortunate incident from happening. I attended Secretariat Private School for my nursery and primary school education. I recollect vividly that I was the only Muslim in the class that passed out of primary school in 1970. Maybe there were others who were born into Muslim families, but I do not remember any other person in the class proudly proclaiming himself as a Muslim. It required a lot of courage to do so, as we were bound to face a barrage of questions, if not an avalanche of criticism, for claiming that you were of Muslim faith. I was fortunate to have parents who insisted that I receive lessons in Quranic studies at home thrice a week. My mother did everything that was necessary to ensure that I took the Quranic studies very seriously. I was incentivized by her regularly. Not all the incentives were pleasant. Sometimes I was scolded for avoiding the teacher who came to the house in the afternoon. Our effort did not go to waste, as I completed the Holy Quran before I proceeded to secondary school at the age of 10. I had survived in a Muslim in a Catholic environment, largely due to my mother's participation of my parents in my religious life. I proceeded to Government College about 1971. It was a school owned by the government of Western Nigeria. It was supposed to be secular in orientation, as it was funded by government and not any religious body. It was only secular in name. It was deeply Christian in orientation. We commenced each day with an assembly. What was the assembly about? It was a Christian service where we sang hymns from the songs of praise, and we all prayed in a Christian manner. We sang so regularly that as we grew older, we knew most of the songs by heart. I can still recite a lot of songs today. Once again, it was our parents who saved the day. They had two societies or associations, namely Muslim Association of Nigeria and Women of the Muslim Association of Nigeria. As a team, they approached the school and made a case for Muslim children to be allowed to practice their faith in the school. Of course, there was initial resistance from the school, but the two societies were dogged in their determination to ensure that their children were not deliberately or inadvertently alienated from their faith. After a protracted struggle and negotiation, a compromise was arrived at. What was the compromise? The compromise was that on Fridays, instead of having the usual Christian mode of worship, the prayers during the assembly was to be conducted in an Islamic way. This was a great achievement. However, it posed some challenges. The action was strange and novel. The Muslim students were not prepared for it. Generally, there were few students who knew any verse of the Quran. Even Surah Al-Fatiha was beyond the scope of a lot of students. Most of the older students were not knowledgeable enough to lead the prayers. The baton had to be extended to the junior boys on many occasions. This led to my leading the prayers on Fridays.
Highlights of the opening ceremony include the launching of Muslim Woman magazine, a publication of the Federation of Muslim Women Associations in Nigeria. Dignitaries at the event took turns to launch the outstanding publication by Form 1. The chief launcher of the occasion, a lover of the religion of Islam and of course Form 1, Engineer Yusuf Lanre Shagaya, was first to launch the magazine. Ably represented by the national chairman, Muslim Media Watch, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdullah, he launched the magazine with a huge sum of money.
On behalf of Engineer Yusuf Lanre Shagaya, the chairman and chief executive officer of Eula's consultant, is buying 100 copies of this magazine for a sum of 2.5 million naira.
Second to mount the podium is the keynote speaker at the event, Dr. Abdurrauf Babalakin's son. He thrilled everyone at the event as he launched the magazine beyond everyone's expectations.
To support the great organization, I will make my donation in 3 lots. The first one is from Ramatu Ibironke Babalaki Foundation. My mother, 2 million naira. On behalf of my father, Honorable Justice Shehu Tijani Bolariwa Oyegoke Babalaki, 2 million naira. And then from my humble self, 1 million naira. Allah.
The hosting Vice Chancellor of University of Ilorin, Professor Abdul Ghani Ambali, in his goodwill message, welcomed everyone present at the university auditorium. He added that Ilorin is a state of harmony, therefore, Form 1 members should feel at home.
No matter where you come from, if you look at Ilorin closely, not even under the microscope, you find a sister and a brother of yours here in Ilorin. Then let me welcome you specifically to University of Ilorin, the university that is better by far and is becoming the university of choice. And let me thank you, all the mothers, for bringing out the best in all our students that are here. Because we know that here in the University of Ilorin, we have zero tolerance to quite a number of vices. Be it exam malpractice, cultism, and other social vices. And that's why we record minimum number of vices here at Ilorin. So we thank you, mothers, for bringing out those children in the best way possible. And then let me also acknowledge the contribution of Form 1 in the upliftment of all Nigerians, and to let you know that University of Ilorin is in tune with your mission and vision. So on behalf of all of us, once again, here at the University of Ilorin, let me welcome you to our mix. Please feel free. We have quite a number of recreational facilities here in Ilorin. here at the university.
Next is the memorable speech of the Amir al-Mu'minin, the Sarkin Sarakuna, May Al-Farma Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Al-Hajj Muhammad Saad Abubakar III. He described Form 1 as one of the most organized Islamic body in the country.
This special day, Friday, which is a holy day, special day for us Muslims, we are gathered in this hall to be part of history, to be part of those marking the 30th anniversary of this great body. I was physically present in Abuja when you marked 25 years, and time flew by. Alhamdulillah, today we are here marking 30 years of existence of this very great body. We would like to thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his blessing on us and for making it possible for us to see this day. And I want to take this occasion to congratulate the leadership and all members of Form 1, which I can say without any contradiction as one of the most, if not the best organized Islamic body in this country. By mere looking at you in the hall this morning, one can see how organized you are. And I think that's part of Islam. And we must be proud of being Muslims. And in whatever we do, we must always remember that we are Muslims. And Islam orders us to do certain things and also prohibits us to do certain things. We want to take this opportunity to congratulate all members of Form 1 on this epoch-making event here today.
The Sultan Al-Hajj Saad Abubakar reiterated the importance of motherhood to the progress of a nation. He challenged the leadership of Form 1 to be part of opinion-making bodies by adding their voices so as to address issues that affect the country. As the population of women, he said, in the nation will enable them gain acceptance in democracy. Democracy, he said, is a game of numbers.
It is very important to know and to reiterate the importance of motherhood and leadership in our homes. All our problems start from homes. If you don't have a good mother, you will definitely not have a good home. If you have a bad father and the mother is there, she could still bring up the children and make the home to be what is supposed to be, a home. There's a difference between a home and a house. Anybody can live in a house. But for you to be in a home, you must be up and doing, you must be somebody who fears God in whatever religion you profess. Alhamdulillah, as Muslims, we have Islam as our way of life. Whatever we need to do or not to do has been enshrined in the Holy Quran, and of course, with the Sunnah of our most noble leader, Anabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I want this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to Form 1 for inviting me to be part of this occasion. I want to just throw a challenge or two to the leadership of Form 1 and all of you. You must add your voice to issues affecting our country. We know the population of Muslim women in this country. You must be part of opinion-making bodies where people must listen to you whether they like it or not. Since we are approaching democracy, and I believe democracy is a game of numbers, and I know the women folk in this country are much more, and I know you should also be able to reach out to your non-Muslim sisters to formulate a policy where everybody who is aspiring for any office or one is in that office must consult you and listen to your opinion, because you are the homemakers, you are the homekeepers, and you are the ones bringing up our children. And if we don't have a good society, we don't have a good society backed by fear of God, then I can say we have no society.
It is the tradition of Form 1 to assess the activities of its state chapters and emirs for a period of 1 year and award those that performed excellently at the annual national conference. For this year, 3 states distinguished themselves. The states are Niger and Adamawa State, with Oyo emerging as the first position.
To comment that all the states, they have performed themselves excellently well. However, in an assessment of this nature, some states must excel. So that is why we have 3 states that have distinguished themselves, and we would like to mention them. The third position goes to Niger State. Niger State was selected because they excelled in educational and dawah activities within the states, and they have effectively coordinated the local government branches. The second position went to Adamawa State. We observed that despite the security challenges we have in this area, this state has not relented in the execution of their programs and projects. These challenges also did not hinder them from making appropriate intervention into the situation on ground, as well as responding to national and zonal assignments. And the first position, which I know we're all waiting for, goes to OYO, Oyo State. Oyo State was selected because they have excelled in the coordination of local government branches and affiliates. There is effective supervision too of the activities across the local government area, and there's good networking with local government agencies and other partners.
To present the award to the best Amira, Hajia Zara Dahiru from Adamawa State is the Olori of Ilorin.
Her Royal Highness Mama is handy to make this presentation to the best Amira of the year 2015 in the person of Adamawa State Amira, Mrs. Hajia Zara Dahiru. Allahu Akbar.
The Executive Governor of Kwara State, His Excellency Dr. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, in his address, appreciated Form 1 for holding an event of this importance in his territory. He further commended Form 1 for choosing the theme due to its importance at this time.
We are particularly elated that Form 1 has chosen to hold this all-important event here in Kwara, where our peaceful atmosphere and traditional warmth are conducive to an event of this nature. I therefore wish you very successful deliberations and enjoyable stay with us. The theme of 2015 National Conference, Religion and Ethnic Plurality, Implications for National Integration in Nigeria, is apt. As you are aware, all religions, and particularly Islam, preach peace, love, and good neighborliness. In the same vein, ethnic plurality constitutes a source of strength for national integration and development. Indeed, a country with diverse cultures can build on such heterogeneity as a source of strength. Certainly, diversity is a major source of strength for the United States of America. Sadly, the reverse is the case in Nigeria, where ethnicity continues to divide us despite 55 years of independence. However, I hold that bad governance and the accompanying trust deficit, rather than our diversity, are responsible for divisions that still hold us back from true nationhood. If our people enjoy a good quality of life, educate their children in standard schools, raise them in comfortable homes and secure neighborhoods, and are guaranteed a secure future, I seriously doubt if it will matter where our leaders come from. Certainly, the ethnic cleavages we face today are heightened more by decades of bad governance, rather than the fact that we speak different tongues. If we look at religion, for example, the values embedded in it are enough to guarantee good governance and national integration. Islam teaches what we should support. Islam teaches us that we should support our leaders to create a good society for us to thrive in. It also extols such leaders to lead with integrity, fairness, justice and freedom for all, to prosper, subject to only to the limits of their ability. While it is not my intention to make excuses for the insurgency currently plaguing our country, the same lack of leadership can be observed in the crisis. I hold that in the absence of poverty and the presence of good education and other indices of good governance, it is doubtful if the insurgency, which has been wrongly attributed to Islam, will have thrived. I therefore offer good governance that delivers timely benefits to the people, as well as a return to traditional values of integrity, fairness, diligence, good neighborliness, and honesty espoused in Islam and indeed Christianity as solutions to the challenges that we face, especially ethnic disunity and religious intolerance.
And the 30th Annual National Conference of Form 1 was declared open by the Executive Governor of Kwara State, wishing them a fruitful deliberation.
It is my hope that the resolutions of this conference will complement the efforts of Kwara State government in her pursuit of harmonious living and peaceful coexistence among all. With these remarks, I have the pleasure and honor to declare 2015 Form 1 National Conference open in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most beneficent and the most merciful.
The program came to an end with a vote of thanks delivered by the Kwara State Chapter Amira Hajia Silifat Ishola and the closing prayer by Al-Haji Abdul Aziz Agwola, respectively.
On behalf of Federation of Muslim Women Association in Nigeria, I sincerely and heartily express our profound appreciation and gratitude to Almighty Allah for His grace on us, making this conference a success. Our thanks also go to the following dignitaries: Her Excellency, the wife of the President, ably represented by Alhaja Salmat Muhammad, Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, Senate President Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki, Executive Governor of Kwara State, Alhaji Dr. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, his wife Mrs. Omalewa Ahmed, the Speaker, Kwara State House of Assembly, our Royal Father Emir of Ilorin, Chief Imam of Ilorin, the Chief Launcher, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, who made all these facilities in the university available to us, the Vice Chancellor of Kwara State University, and the Professor of Al-Afrikiy University of Ilorin, Dr. Abdurrahim Oladimeji Bagumolu of Urusland, great founder of Form 1, participant from all our international community, and the distinguished brothers and sisters in Islam. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support and we appreciate your coming.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina akhtana. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملت على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
The Federation of Muslim Women's Associations of Nigeria's delegates from their respective states converged back at the auditorium in the evening to give an annual report of their state activities. Each state took turns to give an account of their achievements, challenges, and made recommendations.
Despite the challenge, the whole committee was able to perform the following activities: going to all camps to sensitize the IDPs on the life in the camp, be conscious of salat, use of hijab, and counseling them to appreciate the calamity that befell them as test from Allah. Health. Throughout the year, UNICEF and National Primary Health Care engaged 120 Form 1 members in the campaign to eradicate polio virus, routine immunization against the 6 killer diseases, maternal and child care.
A financial report: the school account has 1.5 million, the business account has 190,000, the Form 1 account has 200,000. We have the Masjid project account, which has about 4 million.
Local government report. Sardana local government
The local government branch embarked on monthly Nasir on health education and skill acquisition. It assisted the less privileged with finance to start petty businesses in order to sustain their families. It also conducted Ramadan Tafsir in various centers within the local government. One account at Keystone, 50,000 naira. Project account at Skybank, 30,000. Money at hand, 15,000 naira.
And the third and final day of the annual conference featured syndicate sessions where delegates were lectured on different topics and grouped into 4, named after the founding and active members of Form 1. The presenters of each topic were all up to the task as they did justice to the given topics.
In the colonial Sokoto Caliphate, all of us know about Nana Asma. Nana Asma, who played a tremendous role in ensuring social justice. The status of women in Islam sees a man as a man and a woman as a woman created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are equal in their rights. Women, however, are the homemakers and centers of the family. They are the main custodians of social, cultural, and fundamental values of the society. They are best achievers and home architects and role models. Full development is not possible without their understanding, cooperation, and effective participation. In the midst of darkness that engulfed the whole world, the divine revelation echoed in the wide desert of Arabia with a fresh, noble, and universal message to humanity.
Because charity begins at home, parents should equally develop in their children. We as mothers, we should develop in our children at their tender age the values of unity. Let us sensitize our children to the values of unity, the values of harmony and peaceful coexistence. Let us encourage them to live together. The Hausa should see the Yoruba as his brother, not as Bebe Banza. The Yoruba should see the Hausa as his brother, not as Gambari Banza. And we should not see the Igbo man as Nyamere Banza. Let us see them as our brothers and sisters.
There is a presupposition for us to thoroughly understand our religion. Without a thorough understanding of our religion, we will be engaged in motion without movements. An understanding of our religion presupposes the establishment of active learning. The only thing that distinguishes the community of Muhammad is that they are a community of learners from cradle to grave. There is no benefit in activism without knowledge. So, Form 1 must have programs for learning.
The auditorium was next port of call for delegates to give reports of the syndicate sessions, and translations were made in the indigenous languages.
The concept of discrimination is an act of differential treatment you give to people, and that the discrimination has always been there from time immemorial, and that this democracy started in Athens. In Athens, then they discriminated against a lot of people, especially the foreigners and women. They had no right to vote, and they didn't have right to be voted for. Same thing happened in Rome. And then, even in US, there were a lot of discrimination against Africans in terms of accommodation, admission to college, and so on. And this continued until 1941. It was in US in 1945 that they started legislating against discrimination. And they told us that discrimination, like I've said, is the differential treatment you give to an individual.
The lecturer went on to describe what is citizenship. He said, right in Islam, Islam has given women the right of citizenship, where the nation throughout the world, women are not given this right. He also said a lot of books have been written on this topic. He talked about history of human and what our prophet said during the other his era, and what the Holy Book said. He refers us to Quran chapter 4 verse 1. Keep your duty to your Lord and to your Lord only. Our Almighty Allah enjoined women and men to be equal in deeds, except on very few occasions. Women can go to mosque, unlike what we are seeing today. The Prophet enjoined women to go to mosque. And what we are seeing today in the north, generally most of the mosques in the north, women don't attend. Even in Saudi Arabia, he said this is contrary to what the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam practiced.
Tidad ya magana ne akan matsalolin da mata ke fuskanta a wajen ganin cewa an ba su haƙoƙinsu na kasancewa su ɗan ƙasa ko kuma ainihin 'yan jiha, inda yake ya fara bayani da cewa musulunci shine addinin da ya ba mata haƙƙi bisa ga kowane addini, kuma ya yi bayanin haƙoƙin da musulunci ya ba mata, cewa musulunci ya ba mata haƙƙin rayuwa, don mun san an yi zamanin da ake ma kashe ɗiya mata an haihe su. Ya ba su haƙƙin kuma addini, inda ya ba da misali da manzo sallallahu alaihi wasallam ma ya ba su dama su je masallaci kuma su bá da gudunmuwa wajen ɗaukaka addinin musulunci.
wọ́n kọ́kọ́ sọ fún wa pé kí Islam tó dé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ oríṣi ọ̀nà ni wọ́n ti gbà láti tẹrí obìnrin mùsùlùmí obìnrin sílẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí Islam dé, Islam jẹ́ ká mọ̀ yìí pé kò sí ìyàtọ̀ láàrin ọkùnrin àti obìnrin. Islam sọ fún wa wípé obìnrin kò kì í ṣe igbá ìwọ́wọ́ tí ó kàn lè máa gbé dànù síbi kan. Dr. Becky started by saying that a child is like soft clay that we can shape and mold according to the way we handle them. She said to us that it is very important for children to create a sense of identity and self-worth. And this they get from the way we nurture them and in the environment they live in. That it's very important to give children and youth the affection, the support, and the sense of direction that they require to live good lives. If we do not, and we allow children and youth to become detached from family and community, we will know the consequences as we are beginning to find in our society. How well we nurture them will determine whether the children or the youth are loyal and respectful of the laws of the land.
Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ lé wọn lórí? Èkíní wọ́n sọ pé ọmọdé ó dàbí amọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé tó tutù tí a mọ ẹ rí pé bá ṣe mọ wọ́n sí yẹn ni wọ́n ṣe máa wà títí di ọjọ́ ogbó wọn. Wọ́n wá tún bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ yìí pé oríṣiríṣi ẹ̀tọ́ ni àwọn ọmọdé wọ̀nyí ni wọ́n ní lábẹ́ òfin ètò òṣèlú, àti pé ẹ̀tọ́ tí ó yẹ kí gẹ́gẹ́ bí òbí ká jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ wa ní nínú ìgbésí ayé wọn. Èkíní wọ́n sọ fún wa pé wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí ìlò ilé ayé wọn. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí òbí wọ́n fi yé wa pé àwa òbí ni Ọlọ́run bá máa bi bá a ṣe tọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa, torí pé kí ni àdàrànjẹ̀ la jẹ́. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì wọ́n ní bí wọ́n ṣe ń dàgbà sí wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí báyẹn ń dàgbà, kí ni àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ ká máa fi kọ́ wọn ní àwùjọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyá. wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ fún wa pé àwa ìyá ni a ní iṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ láti ṣe lórí àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí torí pé kí ni tí ọmọ bá dára ti àwọn bàbá tó bá kù díẹ̀ káàtó ti àwọn ìyá ni Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ wa yàn kan yanjú. Wọ́n wá tún sọ fún wa pé ẹ̀tọ́ tí àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí tí wọ́n ní ní ìfẹ́, wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí ìfẹ́ láti fi ìfẹ́ hàn sí àwọn ọmọ wa. Gbogbo ìgbà tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ ń ṣe nǹkan ká máa rí wípé à ń yìn wọ́n torí pé kí ni tí àbá ti yìn wọ́n tó bá ti sọ̀rọ̀ tí a bá ti gbé wọn ní ìdáhùn pé gbẹ́nu ẹ sọ́hún a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ rí i pé nǹkan míì tó yẹ kí àwọn ọmọ yẹn kí wọ́n máa bá wa sọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí òbí àwa pàápàá obìnrin la súnmọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa púpọ̀ nǹkan tó yẹ kó dẹ̀ sọ fún wa ní nǹkan àṣírí wọ́n lè má lè sọ fún wa torí pé kí ni a jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ sí àwọn ọmọ wa.
The best religious leaders or the best organizations that can lead people are the ones that are very good and they have focus. Unlike those ones that are very bad with bad ideas such as Boko Haram, Metatsine, John Jones, all these examples he gave were the religions that were not really good.
To Allah belongs the earth and sky, so wonderful. All the oceans wide, the mountains high, the animals. Looking at the sky, so many million miles over space and time, there is only one God. From a treetop, watch the sun start through a dew.
Organized by International Organization of Tijaniya Brotherhood. The theme for today, as for last year, is still Tijaniya and the Universal Peace. One of the reasons for retaining this theme has much to do with the reality of what we are facing today. So the question of searching for peace and the fact that internationally Islam has been tagged as a religion of destabilizations and problems, crises, make it mandatory not to retain the theme so that the discussions will further our understanding that Islam is all about peace. More specifically, I welcome our mother, Sayyidah Bilqis, the wife of our grand spiritual leader, Sheikh Ibrahim Inyas, who lived all her useful life with the Sheikh. She traveled extensively with him, and she's still traveling on his behalf in servitude of Islam, of the Tariqah and the Faidah. Our chairman, Alhaji Chief M.A. Ola Yusuf, a fellow chartered accountant and the chairman of Nigerian NMLWare PLC, who is also a direct student of Sheikh Ibrahim Inyas, is here with us as a chairman and is going to share with us his experience as a student of Sheikh and as an active promoter of Islam in the southwestern part of Nigeria. Alhaji Suleiman Zuntu, a known politician, an active politician, an active member of the Tariqa, is here with us also, and we are expecting him to share with us his experiences in politics as well as his experiences in the spread of Islam and the Tariqa. My fellow participants, membership of IOTB cut across all sectors of the society, but more specifically, it is for those within the working class and businessmen and women. Among the key activities of IOTB is the management of her student arm, the Tijaniya Muslim Students Association of Nigeria, TUSAN, in the various institutions in the country, whose objective of sensitizing the younger generation of our youth on the tenets of the Tijaniya Tariqa, as well as guide them on their future career pursuit. We are calling out on our students, and we're doing it with all seriousness, to carry along all Muslim youths by active participation in programs of the Muslim Student Society of Nigeria. Active participation in the programs of the Muslim Student Society of Nigeria in all their institutions. One basic fact that cannot be doubted is that not only are Tijaniya adherents peace-loving, but their practices are the core message of the Holy Quran and the prophetic traditions. We therefore call on Tijaniya members to hold on to these clear teachings and to avoid practices or tendencies that mystifies and corrupt the tenets of the Tariqa. It is on this note that I once again welcome all the participants and call on those who are not registered to please do so and inform others about the IOTB. I declare to you all that our unity is our strength as a community, and it is our collective responsibility to forge this togetherness in the love of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his message. Alhamdulillah.
The Sheikh Ibrahimians, there are three qualities in my view which I noticed because I have personal relationship when he was alive. When I left my secondary school, Baptist Masters School, I went to the bank. And in the 1960, 59, 60, 61, Sheikh Ibrahimians was trying to build a mosque in the Lutemeta. And I always wear my trousers and my ties. And because of the nature of my dress, it came out very clearly. So, and Sheikh will call me because then he put his hands on my after the prayer and pray for me. And that developed a relationship. So anytime I come to Tafsiri by Sheikh Ibrahim, he has to ask me to be drawn near. That relationship continued with the present leadership in Kaula. And I'm proud and happy that that has now brought us one of the eminent leaders of this country, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. He's a reverend, he's a pastor by religion. He built a church in OOPL, Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. We attended the same school together. Apart from that, we are very close as friends. So, and I said to him, My Excellency, you have built a church. What about the mosque? Your friends cut across religion religious, tribal, and national boundaries. You can't just build a church without a mosque. If I come to OPPL and it's time for me to pray, I'm not going to pray in the church. If people come from Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or even from the north here in Nigeria, they must have a place to. He was convinced and said, okay, look, what do we do? I give you a piece of land, but you have to build it. I'm not going to build it for you because I have no money. I said, okay, don't worry, give us a piece of land. To cut a long story short, he gave us about 2 acres of land to build a gigantic central mosque, which is going on now, to build the Imam house, and to build the Arabic and Islamic school. He appointed me as the chairman of the board of trustees for the building of the mosque. And he gave me the responsibility to look for the fund to build it. Surprisingly, you can't believe it, Olusegun Obasanjo has now spent more than 70% of his money to build that mosque. And the mosque has reached an advanced stage. A lot of people do not understand him. They are saying that Emola should be converting Obasanjo to Islam. If God wants it that way, why not? It's not impossible in the face of Allah. The second thing that happened in my relationship with him is that I saw a picture of Sheikh Ibrahim Niasse and himself when he was head of state, military head of state. And I said, so you are close to Sheikh? He said, yes, of course, he was my friend. I said, then we must go to Kaula together so you can have special prayer from the Grand Khalifa. He thought I was joking. To cut a long story short, we went to Kaula with full publicity in CNN and some other media to pay homage to the present Grand Khalifa Tijani in Kaula, who prayed for him for several hours. And Obasanjo declined a written speech that as long as he lives, he will continue to support Islam and will continue to support Tijani organization in Nigeria. So that is one of the things we must try to do. We must reach out. Sheikh Ibrahim has reached out to all people, all leaders, everywhere in the African continent. There was a relationship between him and Gowon and so many other leaders. He's not related on the basis of religion. He is a highly civilized and cultured man. And we should learn from that. As Khalifa has said, there is no compulsion in religion. That is Quran. You can't compel even your own son or daughter to be Muslim. Allah will make whoever he wants to be Muslims. And he cautioned us, do not compel anybody. There is no compulsion in religion. We thank you all for coming. I hope our celebration today will strengthen the Tijaniya, the International Organization for Tijaniya in Nigeria. We want this organization not only to be for Nigeria, but to be for Africa. And why not even for the world? International statistics on religions has shown that Tijaniyans in Africa is the largest single organization in Africa. And yet, there is no cohesion. Even the Tijaniya organization in Nigeria, we haven't got enough cohesion. The challenge facing us, those of us who will lay down the corridor of histories, is that one that brings back the unity among Islam, the unity among further Tijaniya organizations, as Sheikh Ibrahim did during his lifetime. That is the names that will lay down the corridor of history. I congratulate you all. Thanks.
I believe the chairman of the occasion started mentioning the strengths of Tijaniya in Africa and in Nigeria, and the relationship of our Sheikh Ibrahim Kaula with political leaders in Africa. He mentioned Gowon, and I think he mentioned Nkrumah also. So my advice to Tijaniya youth is to get involved in politics. It is very, very important. You are living in Nigeria, And you cannot live in isolation of what happens in the country. If you like, you can classify the Nigerian society or any other society in the whole world into 4 groups. First, the political group. Second, the armed forces group. Third, the bureaucratic group. Fourth, the economic group. If you look critically, the most important of all is the political group, because it can direct what happens in other groups. But then, if Tijaniya feel that politics is dirty and they are not interested, it means they are excluding themselves in all the 4 groups. And it will not be in the interest of Tijaniya. Being with God in isolation is excellent. But being with God in public is far more better. You are in this hall, but it's only your body that is in this hall. You are thinking of thoughts and planning. Everything is with God. So there is need. You can still get involved in politics and remain what you are as a true Tijaniya. Let's go and expand a little bit of what our chairman said. If you look at the last election, the 2 contestants, the winner and the loser, do not make up 30 million if you add their total votes. But the Tijaniya movement, according to the estimate, certainly genuine estimate, is over 40 million people in Nigeria. It means you can determine the direction of this country. But can you tell me, in any state of the Federation, that you can find 10 members of the House of Assembly who are Tijaniya? It's not likely. In the federal, out of 369, can you brag of even 19? I doubt very much. So, honestly speaking, it is not in the Western education or in the politics that is bad. It's the people who make it bad. And if you are good, you remain good wherever you are. This handset, which we have, nobody created or manufactured or invented it to be a source of telling lies. But now, you ask somebody, why you? He's Abuja, he will tell you he's in Lagos. Is that the fault of the manufacturer? It's not. So, we beg you, the youth, who are 65% of the population of Nigeria, according to the estimate given by the president. If you check yesterday's paper, you will see. He is the one who said it, I'm not the one who said it. Yet, Daily Trust of yesterday, 65% of the youth are the population of the country. So you should get involved, determine your future, determine the way the country moves. And if your actions are judged by intentions, God looks at your work. Before he looks at your work, he looks at its sincerity. Sincerity will be the basis of determining the quality of your work. So if you are going into politics with excellent intention to help in improving the lot of the people, believe me sincerely, even if you lose your life in the process, there is no regret. But if you remain in the mosque, whenever money has been raised to build a mosque and you chop part of it, what does that take you to in the other world? It doesn't take you to anywhere. So it is not the job. It is you. You should be interested and get involved. So I mentioned only the political involvement of Tijaniya. in the armed forces, we need you there. In the army, in the air force, in the navy, in all the forces, we need you there. We need you in the bureaucratic sector, civil service. We need you to get involved in the political sector, in the economic sector. You just don't wait until somebody brings sadaqah for you or zakah. The best food for you is the one that is given to you and you get through your sweat. Don't wait. Get involved in these economic activities, and that's the only way forward. So try to work hard. Let's take our own fair share. God has made us so plenty, the biggest in Nigeria. And therefore, let's show that we are the biggest, not just mentioning it. This is my only contribution on the political side. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Eloquent and inspired speech is that all of us should really participate in the governance of our country, direct and indirectly. If you are an engineer and you are a student, you let people know you are student. The vice president of Senegal was Nias. At the late Sheikh Senator Mansour Nias was an active politician. Sheikh Suresh is still very active in the House of Rep. So there is nothing antagonistic in being a good Muslim, in being a good Sunnist, and in being a good politician. When you join politics, we pray and hope we will not be the looters who will deprive Nigerians of their heritage. By your action, you should be capable of showing the beautiful face of Islam. I think that's what the last speaker has been trying to tell us. We thank you for that speech, and we will continue to need your experience and your advice in the days that lie ahead.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والفاتح لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام الحمد لله رب العالمين القائل يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تطيعوا فريقا من الذين أوتوا الكتاب يردوكم بعد إيمانكم كافرين وكيف تكفرون وأنتم تتلى عليكم آيات الله وفيكم رسوله ومن يعتصم بالله فقد هدي إلى صراط مستقيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون صدق الله العظيم. I thank the Almighty Allah, and the theme is Tijaniya and universal peace. I won't take much of our time. I know that we have time constraint. Alhamdulillah, in our today's world, we know that as far as Islam generally is concerned, we have only two political movements, two Islamic political movements in the world. We have the Sunni aligned political movement. We have the Shiite aligned political movement, right? That is, when we talk about Islamic politics in today's world, we have only two parties. I want the audience to get me right. When I say parties, I don't mean registered political parties here. What I mean is that the giant political movements or the giant political alliances we have today in the Islamic world are Shiite political bloc and the Sunni or Salafi political bloc, right? The former led by Iran and co, and the latter led by Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the co. Right? So the only Islamic group of today's world that is not politically aligned is Sufi group. Generally, Allahu Akbar. And Tijaniya in particular. That is why at least we experience some peace in today's world. Because we are the only group that is not politically motivated. We are the only Islamic group today that is not politically motivated. We are not after any political gain. No, that does not negate the fact that we have to participate in politics as advised by our eminent, distinguished invitee, Alaji, the Sarki of Zuntu, and the Emir of Zuntu, Alaji Suleiman Zuntu. And we thank the Almighty Allah, so we provide the balance. We are the balancing factor in today's Islamic world. If not for us, there would have been blood anywhere. Because you can see the arms race between the Shiites political group and that's the arms race between the Shiite and the Sunnis of today's world, right? You wouldn't expect a group acquiring arms, then you expect that they just acquire arms for the sake of acquisition. No, there must be a purpose for such acquisition. There must be, a factor. So, but Alhamdulillah, it is because of Sufis that today we experience. That's why Sufi-dominated part of the world are the most peaceful part of the world today. Take for example, let's go to international scene. Morocco, where our Sheikh came from, Sheikh Tijani, is the most peaceful part of the Arab world today. You know what? Because they are all Sufis, and more importantly, Maulana Sheikh Ahmad Tijani is there. And the most peaceful part of Africa today, the most peaceful country on African continent is Senegal. You know what? Maulana Sheikh Ibrahim Niass is there. So you can see the relevance of the deen, Tijaniya and universal peace. You see? Well, that is universally, that is in the outer world, you see, as I said, at the Arab world, which is the most volatile part of the world today. Morocco is the most peaceful because Sheikh Tijani is there. On the African continent, the most peaceful country today is Senegal. That's why there has never been any case of coup in Senegal in their political history. Ever since their independence, no coup had ever been staged there. No administration was ever overthrown. Why? Because Maulana Sheikh Ibrahim Niass was there. And that means that if given a chance, Tijani students, the adherents of this order of Tijaniya will bring about the world peace, if given a chance. Because after all, we do not bother who leads. Rather, we are concerned about which system leads. You know, there is difference between a system leading a society and a personality leading a society. What we are concerned about is, let's be given a chance to worship our God the way and manner we are being trained to worship Him. That's all what we need. If not for the peaceful approach of Tijaniya, you wouldn't have Imam Hassan Sisi radiallahu ta'ala encroaching the boundaries of Europe. You understand? Going into America and converting quite a large number of people into Islam, and then initiating them into the Liga Tijaniya, establishing zawiyas there, and the schools of Quranic memorization,
In fact, I attended a conference, an international conference in Morocco, where one American lady, a white lady, came out proudly to say that because of these activities of Imam Hassan Sisi in America, she is proud to announce the entire attendance that her daughter was the first white girl that memorized the Holy Quran by heart. Do you think that if he adopted an aggressive or antagonistic approach, do you think that he would succeed? Would they allow him to enter into their country? But you can see here, with this, Imam Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu was the first Islamic scholar to address the UN General Assembly. Atijanian, not only Atijanian, a sheikh, the son of sheikh, and the grandson of Maulana Sheikh Ibrahim. Yes. You can see how peaceful we are. You can see the yields of the peaceful approach that we have been trained to adopt by our scholars. So that is enough to tell us that alhamdulillah, inshallah, as promised by the leaders of Tijaniya, Maulana Sheikh Usman Boji, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he used to say that Sheikh Ibrahim just told them that Tijaniya will overtake the entire world. In the same way, Islam is bound to overtake the entire world. That Islam will take over the entire. This is a reality. It's enough to tell you that today, in American politics, Islam is an issue, isn't it? Donald Trump, in his campaign, suggested that all Muslims should be banned from entering the United States of America. And it became a global issue, isn't it? In fact, one prestigious university that once gave him an honorary doctorate, that university withdrew the doctorate degree because of that. And the university is not an Islamic university. You understand? It's a British university, but they withdrew the doctorate degree. No religion is considered a factor in today's world politics except Islam. Is there any religion that constitutes any item of discussion in the world politics today? Except Islam. Am I right? Do you think that Christianity is an issue in American politics? Is it an issue to discuss? How about Islam? It's not only an issue, a determining factor. It can even determine who will win and who will not. What was the response of the White House when Trump suggested the ban of Muslims? What was the response? The spokesperson of the White House said that with this, Trump disqualified himself from being United States president. With this statement, you see how Islam rose to the position of being an issue? And so Tijaniya will follow suit, alhamdulillah. So will be the faith of Maulana Sheikh Islam Sheikh Ibrahim. I've been told at the time he sent in our fiber 1 single second to add to what the linear of Zuntu said about number. Last 2 years, Professor Bello was here with us when I use our number as a parameter of our strength, that Tijanians, 40 million, if we restrict our number to 40 million, that our awrad every day, istighfar that we read every day, 230 per a single Tijani student. When you multiply it by 40 million, you have no less than 9.2 billion istighfar every day. 9.2 billion. As for Salat al-Nabi, if you multiply what we read on daily basis, 262, you have 10.4 billion Salat al-Nabi every day, not every week, every single day. As for Haylala, our Haylala on daily basis, if you multiply it by 40 million, that's 300 by 40 million, you have no less than 12 billion. With this number, the world population of today is no more than 7 billion, right? So if you are to do what they call bonanza, of our Haylala of a single day. For the entire human race that live on this continent, on Earth today, you have an excess of 5 billion, because all 7 billion will go to paradise. It's only because it's not allowed that one has to pronounce it by himself. So that Professor Bello said that how I wish you interpret it, you interpret this number, that is politically. That's what do we stand to gain? Should we consider? Should we consider that if we can use this huge number in giving our votes to those who stand for positions? Alhamdulillah.
The Hadira we sent for to Sheikh Ibrahim, we do that in order to use him as an intermediary between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant all our heart desires. From the speech of the secretary, she was requested to talk on how Sheikh Ibrahim was able to bring people from all nations to form a single nation of spiritual brotherhood. Mama said, our father, Sheikh Ibrahim he does not see any other structure, but he sees that picture of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in every human being. As we are seated here, even outside there, when you join the whole world, both the Christian, the non-Muslim, and the Muslim, their structure is the same. That is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Endurance.
That was why Sheikh endured and tolerated every human being on ex office. Sheikh never blamed anyone. Sheikh often tells us that we should not sit on our sins while we are looking forward to other people's shortcomings. It is a known fact that Sheikh Ibrahim and who have so many friends, amongst whom were Christians. Gowon of Nigeria, our former head of state, is a friend to Sheikh Ibrahim. Mama said to mention but few within Nigeria. Professor Chikobi, J.S. Tarka, etc., in Nigeria here. Nkrumah of Ghana.
Even President
it is on record that the president of Senegal happens to be a Christian all through Sheikh's lifetime. Sheikh never had any difference with him. If Sheikh returns from Hajj, he used to organize a dinner for those that performed that year's Hajj. He would invite them. Whether you are a Qadriya, whatsoever sect you belong to, Sheikh will invite each and every one of them. Mama said it should be on record that Sheikh it is not all his wives that are Tijaniya. He married from the families who are not Tijaniyas. What he is doing is striving in the cause of Allah to convert somebody who does not belong and believe in what he is doing to bring that person to that point. By the time he expressed that his true love to such family, that they've never seen such bounties in their life, they wouldn't know when they change and become Tijaniya. Sheikh Anhu used to tell them that it is not the time, it is no longer time that we have to carry our sword, machete, and what have you, that we are fighting, struggling in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the order of the day is sweet tongue on the world.
Be a cheerful giver. Someone came to meet Sheikh one day and asked him this question: why do you have Christian friends? Sheikh radiallahu ta'ala anhu replied, Dov. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he is the merciful on earth's surface here. He's the beneficent here. But in the hereafter, he will be merciful to selected few. So he, in his name, he mentioned his name, that on earth's surface here, he is working with Allah on that reign of being beneficent to each and everyone, regardless the faith. So when we get to the hereafter, that Allah will be using that his name, the merciful, he equally will be in that capacity, selecting the few he will abide with. Amma is posing a question to us. Is there any ever a day that there is rainfall in the house of the sheikhs and the pastor nearby, the rain refuses to reach his house? The answer is capital no.
No, I'm asking questions.
Mama says she's asking question. Response.
Rahman.
That is the rahmah of Allah for you.
Amen.
That is what Sheikh Ibrahim who has come to practice. There is this Sheikh Ibrahim Uwigwe is from Enugu State. Mama said maybe Imam Dawood will know him or must have heard about his name. He happens to be the first Igbo they knew is a Tijaniya far back their days in Senegal. This man was a Christian, but often Sheikh Radiallahu Ta'ala and we appear to him in his dream that come to me, come to me, come to me. When he started finding out, after going around to consult the oracle and what have you, that something is troubling my dream like this, what is it? And they confirm it is real, it is not evil. So he went in search of Sheikh Ibrahim and Mama said the very day he arrived Senegal, precisely Medina Bay, whosoever he spots, male, he will point to the person, are you the one? He was asking that rhetorical question from every individual he met. People were scared of him and they started running away that there is a madman who has come into our community who don't understand the language he's speaking. Sheikh Radiallahu Ta'ala and who came out. On spotting Sheikh Radiallahu Ta'ala and he kept pointing finger to Sheikh. You. Sheikh hugged him. This was at a point he has not accepted Islam. People who are aged among us saw this man when he came to Nigeria, when he came back to Nigeria. Our father and leader and teacher, Sheikh Ibrahim Radiallahu Ta'ala, and who is not the type that neglects people. He doesn't call himself Sheikh. There are people that came to meet Sheikh when they discover his simplicity of the highest order in him. They wouldn't know he's the most revered Sheikh Ibrahim. Yes. They will be asking him that we want to meet with Sheikh Ibrahim. Please, can you lead us to him? He would just instruct them quietly that follow the other door. When the person passes, Sheikh will go through that entrance and get to his room. So when the person goes through the other door and meet Sheikh Radiallahu Ta'ala, so they will be surprised. that you said you are looking for Sheikh Ibrahim Yes, and he is not Sheikh Ibrahim Yes, but he is Ibrahim Yes. Today, in our code, if they call you and you are not addressed as Sheikh, people will raise questions. Why do you call me by name? You are not giving me my title. For you to be called and recognized as Sheikh, you have to behave like Sheikh. Mama said, like a she was 13 years old when she was married to Sheikh Odolata. It was there in Senegal that she learned the Hausa language. Before she left the shores of this country, she did not understand the Hausa language at all. She does not understand your language. Mama does not understand the native language of Sheikh Wolof. She said, by Allah and with Allah, there was no time that she had to cry for anything. Because Sheikh showed her true love. She said, this is not just for her alone, it got across. Sheikh of all people, Sheikh Ibrahim Ta'ala. If they are traveling together, like a woman first. Sheikh always said women first. He will pass him, enter the aircraft, get seated before he comes in to sit. Mama said, human being, there is nothing we desire other than recognition. She said Sheikh recognized all of them. He never eats alone. He eats with them, and they who eats with him. Sheikh will have to wait for them. Mama said, at times, they will purposely delay. If Sheikh said for them that it is time for me, they will delay, tell him we are coming. And he will keep waiting. He will exercise that patience of the highest order. If you demand anything from him, Sheikh does not want anybody to frown his or her face. If you want anything from Sheikh and you want it urgently, you can just Mama said on normal days, if Sheikh call on them,
I think my time is
not up yet.
Chairman.
Hope her time is not up yet.
No, you said
who is going to stop that? I will overrule it.
Alhamdulillah.
Because we don't get this opportunity every day.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you. Naturally, they will respond to Sheikh each time he calls by saying yes. But when you want something and you've not gotten that thing, sometimes they will have to display that. They will just say, At this moment, certainly Sheikh knows that these people are not happy. And he doesn't like people to be unhappy. He will always tell you to wear a smiling face. If they ask for money and they've not been given, he will instruct you to sit beside him that whatsoever amount of money that comes in, it becomes yours. This is somebody who is giving unto them more than what their parents can give. So what else would you desire? What else do you want? Sheikh Anhu, in his sayings, he said, if I marry, I will spoil my wife. Sheikh said, if he marries, he will spoil his wife. But he will train his daughters, his children generally. Mama said Sheikh actually spoils them with his good characters. That is why never on ex-office will never forget Sheikh. Mama said what she hates is when an individual starts comparing himself or herself with Sheikh Rodolata. Mama said if he used to respect such a person before then, from that moment on, she ceased to accord that person with that respect. Because she will ask herself this question: this individual who is comparing himself or herself with Sheikh, how many people are you training? How many people are you feeding? How many people are you listening to? Sheikh Rodolata, and will never distinguish between his own children and the children of others. Mama said today we have people who call themselves Tijaniya, Faidiya, but they don't observe their 5 daily prayers. Neither do they do their litanies again. They are non-Muslim. They are non-Muslims. They are non-Muslim. The Al-Afrikiy are non-Muslim. If they are Muslim, they will not desist from observing the 5 daily prayers. They will not stop their azkar and the awrad. Because Sheikh Ibrahim Ta'ala is the real Hakika of our time. Wallahi. Mama said she would not want to keep on going endlessly, because if she's to continue, certainly she will not stop, because they will keep coming in form of flood. Finally, Mama is pleading and appealing to each and every one of us that politics, it is not forbidden. It is from politicians that most of our ulamas get their money. So why don't you encourage our people to go into politics? It is the electionary period that used to be the season of ulamas. That's when the politicians So if it is forbidden, why do you collect money from something that is forbidden? Therefore, she is encouraging us, as earlier mentioned, that we should go into politics. Play it with dignity. Play it with all sense of humility. And play it with fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is estimated that Tijaniya in Nigeria are 40 million. So if we are actually up to 40 million, and we know we are more than 40 million in this country, but for the fact that we don't have sincerity of purpose, we don't have that unity, there is no cohesion, no coordination among the Tijaniya people. That is why we cannot even boast of 3 to 4 governors who are Tijaniya. Mama said, even those who will come to ask for prayers from our ulamas, our sheikhs, when they get to office, they forget you, they abandon you. So why don't you send your own, whom you've been training, whom you know and knows you, who knows what you lack and what you desire. Mama said, Sheikh Mahmoud Yes, have his own political party in Senegal. Sheikh Muhammad Quresh, yes, equally have his own political party till date. The grandchildren of Sheikh, they are into politics. This is our leader, and they, the children, they are our leaders too. Why don't we try to emulate them? Mama said when she was in Senegal, she was into politics there. Sheikh never stopped her from politicking. Does politics stop you from observing your daily prayers? The answer is no. Does it stop you from doing your litanies? The answer is no. Politics is just like a business venture. So we should encourage ourselves to partake in political activities, so that those who will be making law for us will be part of us. They will understand what we need. They will create an enabling environment for us to do our prayers and every other thing we are into in this order. May Allah return each and every one of us back to our various destinations safely. And may He grant us long life to witness many more of these. It is her prayer that the government of the day favors the order. We have too many problems at our hand. There is killing here and there in this country. Allah, we ask you to put an end to it for us. Allah, we ask you and beg you that for the sake of the salat we are sending unto the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whom you so love, and you yourself, you are sending your salutations to him continuously. May you bring peace back to this country. Oh Allah, we beg you and appeal that for the father Sheikh Rahimahullah Ta'ala, who loved this nation called Nigeria, bring peace back to us. Salat al-Fatih. Mama said she would want it in congregation. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin al-Fatih al-Ma أغلق والخاتم الماء سبقنا سر الحق بالحق والهادي صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدر الكرام العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
It is an authority that when Holy Prophet accepted injunction from Allah, the first adherent to Islam was a woman, Hadijah. And when Holy Prophet died, the lady that continued to carry the most authoritative hadiths about Muhammad was Aisha. So in the same vein, we thank Allah for the life of our mother, for giving testimony for many things that we don't know about J. Ibrahim Niass. I've been asked to ask Barrister Abdul Aziz to do Tanya before our mother leaves.
منهم فلي بحبهم عزا وجاه أبجاههم وبعزهم طيب لنا عيش الحياة واختم لنا بالخير يا من لا لنا رب سواه على مشار المولود مشار الأولى وسودني شهر النبي رحمته شهر ربيع الأول تانية الربيع بمنحة الشفيع بالمنطق البديع أبغي بها وأملي شهر الفلاح والسرور شهر به سعادته مبشر بين شهور متوج مكلل لا
Nigeria, the most populated country in Africa, is by every standard apposite for da'wah activities. According to the Nigerian Demographic Survey of 2011, the percentage of youths in the counter is 60% of the population. Marvelous as da'wah in Nigeria could be, plethora of factors are, however, hampering the spirit of calling to the path of Islam. Nigeria is endowed with people sparsely settled in distant geographical locations, multivarious ethnics and tribes with diversified culture, tradition, beliefs and languages. Despite the difficulties and challenges facing da'wah activities in Nigeria, a group of believing women under the aegis of Women in Da'wah are doing wonderfully well in promoting the teachings and ethics of Islam with the onerous intention of propagating Islam, especially in the remote areas where the religion is not well comprehended and assimilated. Women in Da'wah, one of the leading Islamic organizations in Nigeria, is a body of Muslim women known for a series of activities that promote the religion of Islam. The association organizes preaching, social welfare, community services, and many more. The members have been using their wealth, energy, and knowledge to propagate Islam. Piqued by the spate of insurgencies rocking the nation, Women in Da'wah did not turn a deaf ear. The association, under the leadership of the National Naibatul Amira, Hajia Ramatu Musa Sani, led a delegation to visit the victims of Nyanya bomb blast. The visit, which took place on the 10th of May 2014 at Asokoro General Hospital, where the victims were receiving treatment, had in attendance members of Women in Da'wah who entered the ward with all sense of humility and pity as enjoined by Islam. From bed to bed, patient to patient, without discrimination of any form, Hajia Ramatu's led group showered series of prayers on the victims and bestowed on them gifts, items, and money. The victims of the bomb blast shared their experience with the Al-Afrikiy Islamic television channel and also showered gratitude to Women in Da'wah for lending support to them in their time of difficulties.
That day I was passing by the road with my friend. This thing now happened. Get me and my friend is dead. So that is it.
In which road are you passing?
Yeah.
This recent one that happened, or the first one?
This second one. It's not okay for me. As I've seen it, it's not okay for me because I'm not feeling fine. This thing is paining me for so much. Even those when doctors see it and remove iron inside my body, I didn't like it. That's what's happened.
Lokacin yana sai nama wata mace ta zo ta ce yanzu ya ashe abin da ya faru kwanaki an ce fan ya tashi wani lokaci mutane sun mata da nan ce muna cikin magana kada ita ban kuma masu kawai a jana ƙoramin jiki to lokacin da jana ƙoramin jiki can ina da sadi masu tashi kawai ɗaya ta gwada na shiga yana cewa a taimaka mutane lokacin da suka gane jini sun gaza taimaka min sai tuna na ɗan wana mai zuwa sai na jin da shige don jin da shige sai ɗauke ni gaza asibiti.
I was inside the park, standing in front of the bus when the incident happened. Wasn't it happened already? I raised my head. I noticed that everybody around me were not complete. I was almost losing hope, but I just prayed that God is your will. It is all your will. Save my life. I was not.
When we entered the bed, we immediately moved. Then we saw fire. I said to her, everybody was running. I cannot run. I just stay beside him. I say, if I will say, let me see. If anything that God decides, I will take it. Everybody run from fly through window. I just sit down, the last person. Immediately, so I'm not even seeing. Then I throw this my leg. I've already gone. So I want to throw the second one. There I just saw my leg. So let me just take it. That is how God wants it.
Over some months, we have been preparing for son's wedding. So we coincided with the Boko Haram business. When we had the traditional on the 26th of April at Otufu, we went, it was hitch free. Went back to Ikop. Then the next one was to be on the 3rd. Then we thought to fine tune it. We should come on the 1st Thursday, so as to do some finishing touches on Friday the 5th, and then have the occasion on the 6th. We came, it was almost hitch free from Ikom. We came up to Buja. But when we got to the Nyanya, we packed our things out and we take a drop to our house at Abu. That was when the thing just suddenly exploded. And later, because when it exploded, strange sounds, signals and so forth entered my head. I was somewhere and I was regaining myself. I found out that I lost some feelings that side. And then I was rushed to Nyanya. There was no chance, so they brought me down here. Meanwhile, I was looking for my wife too, because we were together. I was looking for her. So she too was looking for me. So when I was finally brought here, I lost my phone. I lost my glasses. So, but I could remember off by heart numbers of my 2 sons. I could establish contact, and through them too I established contact with my wife. She came to treatment. We got here. This organization has established hard-working, focused. So we're very well equipped. They are doing their work very well. I must give credit to a public organization, NEMA. As we, from that fire, we left everything there. The following day we went there. A rumor came that they have gathered someone.
Also, they have try to stop the take me to my working place because I'm working here. I'm an attendant. So, when I was standing, still 1 hour ago, push you go. Then I was standing looking for another one. When I saw somebody was holding something on his hand. The thing was showing danger. So I don't really know what he was holding on his hand. And when he passed, it's not up to a minute. When that thing I just find myself on the ground and the thing pushing me down. So that's when I stand up. As for then I could able to stand up. Then I stand up and now stand up and Okada man. They carry me to a general hospital, Then from there, now transfer us to National Hospital. And from there, I now call one of the attendants. I say, see what happened to me. Then they now tell our Oga in the office. Then they now send people, then they now come. As they come, they say, okay, let them see my condition. And they come and see my condition, they say no, that they should give them transfer letter so that they will bring me back here, so that they will treat me since I'm working with them. So that is really what happened.
We came down from a command. We came for our son's wedding. And then we removed our luggages, got here, because since there were vehicles this way, I couldn't pick my official car. Since I knew my son's children's cars are here. So when we do the lighting, we picked a truck, a vehicle. So we picked a barrel to carry our things. So my husband went ahead with the barrel man to put the things in the door. So where I was standing, waiting for them to go, was where the blast took place. So meanwhile, I did not know really what happened to my husband. So after some time, I went around trying to locate. I could not locate him. But eventually, so I carried myself to the Nigerian government hospital for treatment. Checked around, I didn't see him. And now called the children, and I was able to locate him here in this hospital. So after getting the first aid treatment there, I came over here. And the doctor saw my condition and said, no, I can't just discharge me like that. He asked that I should be admitted here.
So how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better. I think they're really taking care of us.
I'll pray for you. I'm sorry, I'll pray for you. Now, what is your advice for government? This thing is getting out of hand. Look at it now. You come for something joyful.
We don't.
Hajia Ramatu thanked the hospital management for the good job they are doing and prayed to Almighty Allah to give the victims quick recovery of their health. Still on the insurgencies rocking the nation, the National Assembly complex was stormed by hundreds of members of women in Dawa on Wednesday, the 21st of May 2014, to pay a courtesy visit to the Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Amin Waziri Tambuwal, on the escalation of insurgencies in the country. The spokesperson, Hajia Farida Sada, expressed appreciation to the Speaker and his entourage for the privilege given to women in Dawa, as well as other Muslim organizations present such as Form 1, Al-Ansar, Jaddafiyya, Al-Habibiyya, Nasfat, and many more.
Right Honorable Amin Waziri Tambuwal, we express gratitude and appreciation to you for graciously granting us audience with courtesy. I stand before you, sir, as a representative of the Federation.
The Honorable Speaker and his entourage, consisting of honorable members of House of Representatives, received delegates from women in Dawa wholeheartedly. The Speaker appreciated the women in Dawa for taking the bold step. Women in Dawa expressed grief about the continuous escalation of attacks on women and children, most especially in the northeastern part of the country. She called on the Speaker to use his position to find a lasting solution to the insurgencies in the country.
Excellency, sir, we are indeed eminently qualified to stand before you and talk about issues affecting the lives of our women and children and their well-being. Indeed, we are speaking from a position of knowledge, not hearsay. We come before you with a mission, a burden of responsibility you seek to discharge. I stand here before you with a bleeding heart, an agonizing pain and a feeling of desperation and near hopelessness. Your Excellency, sir, as Muslims and believers in the one and only true God, we can never lose hope. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has foretold us in the noble Quran that be sure we shall test you with something of fear and hunger, some loss in looks, lies, and the fruits of your toil. But give glad tidings who patiently persevere, who say when afflicted with calamity, to Allah we belong and to Him is our return. However, we view with sadness, trepidation, and a deep concern the continuous escalation of violent attack on innocent lives and property in multiple locations. As human beings, we mourn with the rest of humanity over the inhuman destruction of Allah's creations and wanton shedding of the blood of innocent citizens of this country. Indeed, it even becomes more worrisome with the attacks on places of worship, hapless children in schools, women and the aged, all of whom are deemed sacred even at times of war. It behoves on all decent people to speak out against the wrong that has been camouflaged in various plots. As Allah exalted His He illustrated in the Holy Quran, they believe in Allah and the last day, they enjoy what is right and forbid what is wrong, and they hasten in emulation in all good works. They are in the ranks of the righteous. Sir, we lament with all Nigerian citizens the portrayed inability of security agencies and elected representatives of the people to explain the phenomenon, apprehend culprits, and halt this deadly trend. Indeed, we have waited, prayed, and waited again and again for a silver lining to shine out of the dark clouds. A breakthrough in the seemingly endless fight against the insurgency, which has destroyed and laid to waste incalculable human lives, sources of livelihoods, families, occupations, and long-practiced customs and traditions. Your Excellency, sir, we all ask, are you, as representatives of the people, doing enough to explain to the hapless women we represent what it is we are faced with? Are you, as representatives of the people and guardians of the Nigerian Constitution, doing enough to finding a lasting solution to this nightmare? Are you, as the controllers of the checks and balance mechanism of our democracy, exercising your responsibility on the executive with all its executive might to do what is right and expected? Your Excellency, sir, on behalf of the Muslim women of Nigeria, I urge you to make a loud and resounding statement and stand up to be counted for the benefit of posterity.
The Speaker, in his response, assured women in Dawah that the House of Representatives is working endlessly towards ensuring that sanity comes back to the country. He went further to highlight the activities the House of Representatives is undergoing in respect of the security challenges.
So, I'd like to express to you and through you all of Nigerian women, and indeed the people of the Republic of Nigeria, our resolve as the House to continue to work assiduously towards ensuring that we address this very, very serious challenge of insecurity that we are facing today as a nation. In so doing, and at the risk of being misunderstood in some quarters, is one of the reasons why we felt as a parliament that, constitutionally speaking, we are expected to do either two things. One, to appropriate funds to the security agencies of the Republic of Nigeria for them to be able to execute and carry out their functions of addressing the security challenges. And two, to give them the legal framework, the enabling laws that they require to operate with. It is on the basis primarily of this that the House of Representatives, against, I believe, prevailing sentiment against the extension of state of emergency, decided to do so. Because we know that for our security agencies to take certain actions, they need to have the backing of the law and the manner as required in emergency situations. And that is why we went ahead and passed that resolution. It's part of the reason. As a parliament, we are also expected, as we rightly said, to oversight the implementation of these laws. One, to ensure that all monies appropriated are judiciously applied by the executive arm of government. To that extent, we have, I must admit, been able to do much for certain reasons, and I will share them with you. Any day, committees of the National Assembly go out on oversight, we meet a lot of resistance from most of these agencies of government. And unfortunately, the campaign in the media against the parliament, especially on issues of oversight, and invitations being extended to certain public officers, has not been very, very encouraging. Because there is this tendency to slant stories against the parliament in favor of the executive. So we seek and need your understanding as mothers to also educate, of course, our brothers and sisters and your husbands and children that the parliament is having the constitutional responsibility of exercising these checks and balances. In any case, we are practicing the presidential system of government in Nigeria, and if we must succeed, and I believe we have to succeed, we should do it the way it is done from where we borrowed this model of governance. You can sit somewhere and say that public officers holding public offices should not appear before committees of the parliament. Doesn't stand to reason.
The peaceful protest ended on a good note with a group photograph with members of Women in Dawa and other associations and the Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives. Indeed, the insurgencies happening in the country today is of utmost concern to the members of Women in Dawa as they held a special prayer for the safe return of the girls adopted from Federal Government Girls College Chibok in Borno State. Prayer is indeed the sword of every mu'min. The special prayer was held on 17th of May 2014 at the National Mosque, which commenced immediately after the Jumat service. The prayer, which had in attendance the wife of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Hajia Dr. Amina Namadi Sambo, and her entourage, featured complete recitation from the glorious Quran and series of prayers. The Naibatul Amira of Women in Dawa, Hajia Ramatu Musa Sani, in her address, gave the reason behind organizing the prayer. She ended up by praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the safe return of the girls.
And may Allah continue to guide our leaders, give them the ability to do right. And may Allah guide the followers for us to do what is right. And may Allah bring peace to this country and around the world.
Highlights of the program include complete recitation from the Holy Quran and series of prayers from female clerics, which were offered in different languages, all for the safe return of the girls.
And series of prayers led by female clerics.
As
أستغفر الله العظيم كل من أجمعين 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 أستغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه ومن يتق الله جعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت على كل شيء قدير ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك علمنا وإليك المصير ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع الدعاء اللهم إنا نستعينك ونستغفرك ونؤمن بك ونتوكل عليك ونثني عليك الخير كله نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونتلو لك ونتلو ونترك من يغفرك اللهم إياك نعبد ونؤمن وإليك نسعى ونأتمنا رحمتك ونخاف عذابك إن عذابك بالكافرين منه إن عذابك بالكافرين منه إن عذابك بالكافرين منه ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم لا إله إلا الله ومحمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقر ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا فإن مع العسر يسرا فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا ربنا ولا تحملنا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به ربنا واعف عنا ربنا واعف عنا ربنا واعف عنا ربنا واغفر لنا واغفر لنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا 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 أنت مولانا فانصرنا عن القوم الماكرين عن القوم الظالمين عن القوم الفاسقين لا إله إلا الله ومحمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم
نستغفرك ونتوب اليك يا رب العالمين ونتوسل اليك باسمائك الحسنى وصفاتك العليا يا الله يا رب العالمين يا الله يا الذي خلق السماوات والارض يا الذي رفع السماوات بغير عمد تراها يا الذي خلق الجبال وخلق الخلق وخلق الشمس والقمر وخلق النجوم وخلق الاشجار وخلق الحيوانات وجعل لنا الموتى ثم راحة أو عذابا والعياذ بالله الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الحكيم اللهم إنا نسألك بأنك قادر على كل شيء لأنك إذا أردت شيئا أن تقول له كن فيكون اللهم اجعلنا مخرجا يا رب العالمين مما نحدث به في بلادنا يا الله يا الله يا الله يا رب العالمين يا رحمن يا رحيم يا الملك يا القدوس يا السلام يا المؤمن يا المهيمن يا العزيز يا الجبار يا المتكبر يا الخالق يا الرازق يا المستقيم يا الغفار يا الوهاب يا الوهاب يا الوهاب يا الغفار يا الغافر يا الغفور يا العزيز يا الحليم يا الحسن يا الحسن يا العدل إنا نسألك بأسمائك الحسنى وصفاتك العليا يا رب العالمين اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا إنا مؤمنون اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا إنا مؤمنون اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا إنا مؤمنون اللهم اشف عنا العذاب إنا مؤمنون اللهم اشف عنا العذاب.
Which Muslims are expected to intensify their deeds. Women in Dawa was not left out as it took Dawa to the people of Jai village in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The visit is among numerous Dawa activities by the association in order to reach the grassroots. The visit focused on rendering medical services to the people of Jai community. The Naibatul Amira of Women in Da'wah, Hajja Ramatu Musa Sani, addressed people of Jayu village. She urged them to use the last 10 days of Ramadan to supplicate to Almighty Allah to accept their deeds.
Abincin buɗe baki na ke kadai zai ishe ku gobe. Don haka ki tallafa wa na kusa da ke. Imanin ki bai cika ba idan baki so ƴar uwarki abin da kike so wa kanki ba. Kina tare da makociya kika san tana halin wani kakani kai dan abin da kike da shi ki share. Abin da kika ci zaki je bayan gida zai fita. Abin da kika sha zai fita. Abin da kika sa zai sofe. Amma abin da kika ba wada shine naki. So a yi kokari a yawaita kyauta ma 'yan uwa, a ziyarci 'yan uwa, a je asibiti, a taimaka wa marasa shi don Allah ma ya taimaka maki. Manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya gaya mana khairun nasu man yanfa'un nasi. Mafi cikin mu shine wanda ya fi amfana wadansu. So a yi kokari a taimaka. Magana karatun Qur'ani, a yi kokari a yawaita karatun Qur'ani. Mun san a wannan watan aka sauko manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam al-Qur'ani. Kuma shi Allah da kanshi ya faɗa cewa wannan wata ne da aka sauko da alkur'ani don haka ya kamata mu yawaita karanta shi. Kuma ba wai karatun ba ki san me kike karanta shi yasa zuwa tafsir da muka je muka ga kuna yi muka ji daɗi dan za ki san meye fasarar Qur'ani kuma ki yi amfani da shi. Da fatan Allah ya ansa mana. Ba tare da ɓata lokaci ba, gara 'yar uwa ma za ta ce wani abu kuma mun zo ma da malamin zai da faɗi wani magana sai a fita a je likitoci su duba. Da fatan Allah ka ga ayyukanmu ya sa mu dace. Kada a manta da zakatul fitr. Kun san akwai zakan fit da kai ko wanda ya kamata a yi. Ya kamata kamun a je idi duk wanda Allah ya bata iko take da hali ta fitar da zakatul fitr. An san wannan sa'i ko an san na biyu menene din mudin na biyu ko to shi ya kamata a fitar kuma ana fitarwa ko da dan da aka haife shi rana a ce kin tashi da asuba sai kika haifi da zakatul fitr ya hau kai wannan yaro. Ashe ba wanda ya azumi ne kawai ake mishi zakatul fitr ba duk har da kananan yara. Kuma zakatul fitr sunna ne amma sunna mai karfi. Mai gidanki ba shi da halin yi ke kina da shi ya zama wajibi akan kiki. Wanda kawai zakatul fitr ya sauka a kanta ko ya sauka a kan shi ne wanda ba shi da halin da zai yi. Shi yasa musulunci ya ce kwana 3 kamin sallah za a iya fitar da zakatul fitr domin a ba wa marasa shi. Ba a son a ga ranar sallah wata ko wani yana roƙo so ya samu abincin da zai ci ranar. Ke kuma aka baki sadaka har in ya ishe ki kika samu wanda ya zama yana cikin wadata ya kamata ke ma daga wannan sadakar ki fitar da zakatul fitr abin da ya fi karfinsa. Wani babban kuma abun al'amari da za mu tuna shine maganar idi. Zuwa idi sunna ne amma sunna kuma ba a ce wai sai maza ba har da mu mata. Annabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya umurci mata su tafi sallar idi har ma cewa yake waɗanda ba su da kaya in ke kina da guda biyu ki ara wa ƴar uwarki ɗaya don ta fita ta je idi. Amma wani irin fita ake? Kun ga yanzu kun shiga muku na musulunci na zuwa islamiyya ko ba haka ba? Haka ya kamata a yi fita ba a yi kwalliya a je kuma a bata a wurin sallah ba. A ranar idi Allah subhanahu wata'ala yana alfahari da mu. Saukowa yake sama na farko yake alfahari da mu yake cewa mala'iku ba wai don bai sani ba su waye wayannan suke yace sai su ce bayan ka ne me suka fito suna nema sun fito ne suna neman gafaranka. Idan ma Allah bai gafarta mana ba a cikin wannan kwanaki 29 ko 30 ranar idi duk wanda yake filin idi Allah ya gafarta mashi ko mata zurbanta. Shi yasa manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam yace har ma mata masu haila da masu jinin biki ya kamata ranar su fita su je idi. Sai dai suka tafi su ba za su tsaya a wajen sallah ba za su nemi waje a gefe su tsaya duk wanda ya je idi ranar Allah ya gafarta.
Cleanliness is said to be next to godliness. This assertion was proven by one of the medical personnel that came with women in Dawa. She sensitized the people of Jai on personal hygiene.
Al'amari a gare ku, a gyara gida, a gyara muhalli, a gyara gari gaba daya. Ku gaya ma dan ban ga maza ba a nan. Ku gaya ma mazajen ku a haɗa kai su tsaftan garin su. Kwata ko ina, shara a zuba shi ko ina ba su da albarka. kuna sa mu kanku ciwo ne. Kuma wannan hannun shi yake ɗaukar cuta, yana kawo cuta da yawa. Saboda haka kwanaki a asibiti an yi wani abu da ake cewa hanyar duba yara da mata, an ba su magani a baki da ko ba zo ba. A asibitocin an nuna mene yadda za a wanke hannu. An gaya muku cewa hannu yana ɗaukar datti da yawa ko? Za ki ɗauka, za ki taɓa, za ki ci, za ki sa a baki, za ki wanko kashi in kin yi, za ka je ka dafa abinci ka sa datti, za ka je ka wannan. So ina so in tambaye ku, yaya ne